Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to A House of Many Doors, where we are just doing good deeds, left, right, and center. Let's continue. I know the key details are waiting for our word. So first of all, let's complete our assignment. Ambiguity scans your article with a furrowed brow, then methodically reads through the evidence. Well, this'll never get past the censors, he or she says. But it is such an important story. Alright, this is how the city's censors work. We send them a preview copy before publication. They send it back an hour later with recommended changes, then we take it to print. Ambiguity allows the smallest hint of a smile to cross his or her face. Of course, the key details has a subversive reputation, so they check us more thoroughly than most. But despite that, we've successfully sneaked things into print before. Nothing this big, though. Think it's a good idea? I think... yeah. Listen, if things really go awry, I'm prepared to leave town. So yeah, let's try it. Ambiguity nods at you, his or her eyes sparkling. That's what I like to hear. This is the kind of story that needs to be out there in the public eye. Consequences be damned. Long, pale fingers shuffle through the evidence. No new assignments for now. Come back tomorrow, if we still have a newspaper by then. You return to the office the next day. The next day, in the Key Details office, you have to pick your way past broken tables and scattered heaps of torn paper. When you finally meet Ambiguity, he or she has a purpling black eye and one arm is in a sling. Governor's men raided last night, says Ambiguity curtly. Administered some corrective beatings, smashed up our printing press. Not the first time, but it does leave a big hole in our finances. He or she pulls a bottle of cheap gin from a drawer and pours you a glass. But at least we got the paper out past the censors. The whole city is talking about your story. Let's play it safe for a while now, though. I'll send you far, far away and keep you out of the heat. Down to Caloran, which I know barely anything about. Let's change that. Okay, we got very paid, and also got some radical sympathies, which is probably going to be beneficial. We also have some other stuff to turn in. Let's just drop all of this stuff. Pay me, pay me, pay me. Yeah, look at the money. Look at it just roll in. We have a lot of reports. Okay, so we made it to $32.65. That is still not nearly enough to purchase the hull increase that we were looking to, which is a shame, but it's definitely a good start. Let's gather news. Of course, news about the City of Keys, always useful. We don't have the occult relic that would make this a useful thing. We don't really need to repair the hull. I guess let's wander the streets a bit. A gang of feral youths are following you on the rooftops above, shouting and spitting and hurling pieces of slate. Whoa, careful. One smashes perilously close to your head. The tallest and hungriest of the lot leaps down, a razor in one hand, a stack of newspapers in the other. Read all about it, he snarls through broken teeth. That was the coolest thing you could come up with. I'm gonna lose him in the alleys. I'm pretty good at this. I refuse to be drawn into a fight by some reprobate youths. You duck into the nearest alleyway. The hawkers chase you, whooping and hollering like mad things, some on the roofs and others at street level. Finally, you slip into a shadowy doorway, and the few hawkers determined enough to keep on your heels pass by without noticing you. You breathe a sigh of relief, safe once more from the terrors of having to buy a newspaper. That's quite enough excitement. We took some serious physical risk there to avoid spending 10 guineas, which is maybe not that smart. Let's visit Withering Street. So our terrible secret here is worth 200 gold. I mean, do we want to just take it back? We do have the hideous revelation, which we need. We do have the incriminating evidence, which we don't necessarily need for anything. If this is what I think it is, I'm going to have to take all related memories. Yeah, that's fine, I think. And then we'll leave. That'll offset some of the reputation loss that we just suffered. Let's visit our dwellings. Obviously, there are poems to write. Write ourselves a mournful lament. 12 apprehensions, not too shabby. A gothic horror. I do love a good gothic horror. Northern Envy. Rise of envy is falling forthright. Jealousy be not brute, though some call thee free. Northern, bleak, eldritch, and bright. The cousin of envy and northward glee. This poem is mostly about things that are to the north. Okay, We could work on our magnum opus if only we had any unique experiences. We had to hold on to this portentous dream. Let's entertain a guest. We could invite in Genevieve. I was trying to get a little closer with Genevieve, right? She looks your parlor up and down. This is where the magic happens, eh? She asks, waggling her eyebrows. Your conversation touches on the politics of gods, obscure points of confectorate philosophy, the most recent occult developments at Pauper's College. Well, it's a good thing we've been spending so much time with Pen Pusher. Let's try to impress her with our esoteric knowledge. As the conversation starts to get interesting, she leans forward with her hands folded in her lap. She clearly knows you're showing off, but she doesn't care. She takes it as permission to show off too, and the two of you sit pontificating long into the small hours. So we don't have enough relationship to seduce her, sadly, but we did gain a bunch of relationship at least. You gently bring the conversation to a close. She gets the hint, and thanks you for what she says is the first interesting conversation she's had in months. She leaves, the fog swallowing her whole. So what is our reputation with her now? Where is she on my thing? She is a 4. Okay, so next time we come back, maybe, we might even be able to attempt it on the train. So is there anything else we desperately need to do? I suppose we should drop some stuff off at the museum. The museum is only 37% complete. How would you guys like a corpse? And also this historical curio? Alright, that's got us to 46. What are your opinions of the museum so far? From an academic perspective, many of the exhibits are really rather valuable, says Ambrose. Scholars will be discussing our findings for years. Unfortunately, the exhibits themselves are mostly hideous, he says with distaste, and Elga declares the museum eccentric and occasionally disturbing, which seems to satisfy her. Will we pass government inspection? At the moment, the inspectors say the museum has an acceptable conformity to regulations. Okay. So it seems like we're killing it on this so far. We still need to find something a little bit more beautiful, but, aside from that, it seems like it's going real well. Let's go to the black market. What do you need? I feel like I want to hold on to my Necrosia. Hold on, let me tab over to my list. What did I do with my list? We need the Necrosia for something, don't we? I do have Necrosia 1 point marked. The statue to Abja that we're trying to build in the City of Angels requires a Necrosia. Okay, let's hold on to that. It also requires a hideous revelation, and unfortunately 3 bottled darkness, which we do not know how to get reliably. Then my mistake, I just want to buy? I'm certainly not paying you 40 guineas for an obscene booklet. We do know where we can get more than 50 guineas for an ineffective remedy, but honestly I don't want to lug that thing around for 25 guineas. Like, that seems like a really bad use of our hull space. Or rather, our cargo space. Alright, let's, did this. We probably do want to do some resting and recovery. Oh no, you know what? We're going to the City of Angels soon. We don't really need to do that. We can fix our situation at the City of Angels. And I don't think I'm really desperate for new crew members. So... Oh, you know what? We do need some new basic crew. I'm going to just put up a poster. No candidates at all. I didn't realize that was even possible. Yeah, alright. Well, we still need an occult relic. We still need to figure out how to get a hold of occult relics. And then, of course, we need a sack of salt, but we can just buy that here. So with that, I think we're actually done in this city. Yeah. Do we want to... We don't really need to buy fuel. We could just buy a crummy gun to throw into the other gun slot here. You know what? I'm going to buy us a new boxcar. I know that's expensive, but it's probably worth having. We're really pushing our weight limit constantly. It just feels like, as much as that sets us back further from our hull increase, it's probably worth doing. Alright, so obviously we have stuff to do to the north. We need to go to the City of Angels because our passenger wants to go there. Also, I want to heal up there. You know what? I am going to grab the other gun. It's only 400 guineas, which once upon a time felt like a huge amount of money, but now it's really not. And I do, if we get into a fight, I want to be as ready to kill as possible. Did I scroll past the shop? Was it this one? It is this one. Alright, give me that. Sorry. Escape is not the way you move to the next menu. Alright, and then cargo mode. Just throw the gun in there. Okay. So, Tybalt. That all went a little dramatically, is maybe a fair way to put it. He's been hollow and withdrawn and unwilling to talk. I don't want to be a guard captain any longer, says Tybalt. I'm done. It's not healthy being out here in the dark. It does strange things to the mind. He lights a cigarette. When did he start smoking? He puffs it thoughtfully, gazing out the window. I want you to take me to the Old Hallow, he says. When they find my father's corpse, they'll come after me. I need to be somewhere safe. Yeah, that makes sense. And then... I'm going to see if we can seduce Genevieve. Do we want to increase our spirit? We don't really desperately need to. There is lightning in the air between you. Every conversation you have is a scintillating whirlwind tour of each other's psyches that lasts long into the early hours. Finally, it proves too much to bear. Kiss, close, no time to think, tear at each other's clothes. The world dissolves, and you are left with scant impressions. Firelight on pale skin, a wicked smile, warmth, blood. When you wake up the next morning, Genevieve is gone, her side of the bed unslept in. And, of course, our neck is sore, no big surprise there. I do not wish to... So can we just... I mean, doing that doesn't actually accomplish anything, right? Okay, no, this is not... It is exactly the same text, but for some reason it has given us a different... it has actually given us a reward. I guess we'll just check in with her every once in a while and have a quick tryst. And then, we're planning to keep her on, obviously, so yeah, sure. Let's push our spirit up a little bit. She considers herself a therapist as much as a light bearer, although her manner of therapy is a little unnerving. She asks you piercing questions about your past, your childhood, your family, your love life. You begin to suspect she's satisfying her own curiosity as much as helping you. Still, session helps a little. What are the stats that we really need help with? Her guts is not super good, our grit is not super good, and both of those could definitely be helped a bit by just replacing the people that we're currently using in those spots. You know what? I know we just keep turning around. I actually am gonna see about hiring new crew, because Rutherford... Well, we're pushing Rutherford's story, though, aren't we? Oh, the... What? Oh, the Necrosia. Test of Guile, okay. That's right. Every time we come back here, as long as we have Necrosia, we might get stopped. What is the story that we're on with Rutherford? Can't remember... Genevieve wants to go to the Scars of Shang. Banjo's going there. Criminal Enterprise. That's not even descriptive text. He's not the Prince's Heart. Boy, I don't remember which of these missions was his deal. I guess maybe we're done with his thing for now? I'm gonna advertise. Let's do a good advertisement. Yeah, I mean, we do have the option of replacing Rutherford. I think I'm going to do it. Chard Zvetistek. She has cropped red hair and singed eyebrows and pushes a cart full of clinking glass vials wherever she goes. She's an alchemist, she tells you, and her elixirs heal better than any surgery. Her eyes have the telltale tinge of darkness that gives away a Godsmoke addict. Oh good, let's just take an addict onto the train. Why not? Okay, now we're leaving. And this time... For real. This time we're not going to immediately turn around, probably. Let's have a quick chat with our new recruit. Do you know anything about the City of Glass? Wasn't the City of Glass in massive debt to the other cities, asks Char. Maybe they just decided to run the hell away, mucker. That's what I do when I'm in debt, just leave them be. Okay, that's not really like a long-term strategy. So we need Godsmoke to push that. As soon as we have some Godsmoke, she will steal it. Alright, well, let's go to the City of Angels, and then we'll save there, and we can try the government men thing. We do have full weapons now. I do wish that we had gotten some bonus hull. 150 doesn't really seem to be that many rounds of getting shot at. But with 4 weapons, it's at least theoretically possible that we'll be able to bring down their weapon systems quickly enough that it won't matter. We found a deactivated golem. So the extra cargo car... Okay. The engine has a carry weight of 0, and then each cargo car has a carry weight of 50. That's a pretty significant deal. I was wondering if it was going to take us up to 100 or like more like 75 or 80. Yeah, let's search for a drink. Climb down into the dark and dusty wine cellar. The bottles are all smashed or looted. Just as you're about to give up and go back upstairs, you hear a strange noise. It's not the usual kind of strange noise that the house likes to throw at you. Screeches, whispers, ghostly laughter. Instead, it's a pleasant hubbub from above. A singing and a murmuring and a clinking of glasses. Somehow that's much more unnerving. You pause for a moment, listening. Then you climb back upstairs to investigate, and for just a moment you see a pub bustling with patrons, warm and bright and merry, and then it fades back into its cold, ruinous emptiness. Silence settles once more. A profound unease. Yeah, that's fair. I would be uneasy too. It might not be unreasonable to describe that as profound. Like, it's a lot of unease. Alright, so we just need to go up 1 and west 1. I see what you're trying to do, Scorpotron. I'll have none of it. So, we have 4 weapons, but 3 of them are the worst weapon imaginable. Who knows? Who knows if we'll be able to actually take the government men. Let's go ahead and replenish our sanity here. Wander the streets a bit. A young man stumbles down the street, his eyes raised fearfully to the ceiling. You catch him before he runs directly into you. The coolness of his skin immediately informs you that he is a ghoul. Recently risen, too. He does not seem to have decayed even slightly. "Help!" he gasps. "They're after me! They want me dead! Again!" "Yeah, I'll help." Vigilance. There are shouts in the distance. You need to keep an eye out for angels. We might lose this one. Worth a try, though. An angel drifts overhead, its white wings swaying ever so gently. Like all its kind, it would be staggeringly beautiful if not for its overabundance of eyes. One of those eyes is your undoing. Protruding grotesquely from its elbow, it focuses on you as you try to sneak past below. "It is here," the angel booms. "Come, cleanse the abomination." You try to run, but the angel is above you always, directing its followers. White-clad men and women descend from all sides, dragging the ghoul from your side. "Ghoul lover," they spit at you. "Necrophile." Oh, that's very judgmental. It's not wrong, but it's judgmental. Although you never see the young ghoul again, you can imagine his fate. You hear that some of the chambers in the city's crematorium have locks on the outside. Well, so we lost reputation, but again, like, I have no idea what reputation with the cities generally does. If our reputation here got low enough, would it be possible for us to not be allowed in, maybe? Because that would be a bummer. A prospective passenger waves you down at the station. An unkempt man asks for safe passage to Failbetter Quinn. Okay, I don't know where that is. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. And I think with that, there's not really a lot else for us to do here. So, like I was saying, let's go try out this government men thing again. Yeah, we could buy a fungus cannon. Medium damage, low accuracy, sanity effects. Maybe. And you know, with the battle with the government men, they were like, "Hey, shoot out the heartlight and let's see what the sanity does." You know what? I'm gonna veer off plan here a little bit. So let's equip that in. I'm gonna put it in the opposite corner from our other good gun, and then I guess we'll be able to sell our other gun back maybe at the place we bought it from, or maybe not. We might just be stuck with it. I might have just thrown away 400 guineas. I'm fine with it. It's not a big deal. Alright, let's leave the city and go north. Let's go fight some government men. We managed to get all the way back down to Anxious already. Should probably have rested in town. Okay, are we in the... We are in... No, we are not quite in the area yet. So, everybody keep your eyes open for a gigantopede. Shout if you spot it. Not a very easy thing to miss. They're fairly giganto. You know, I don't actually know if we have 4 gunners. We do, okay. I wonder if other members of the crew can still fire the gun, but they're just like, they're less accurate or something. Maybe they don't fire it. I was going to say, maybe they don't fire it as quickly, but that's not how this game's systems work. Be a much more sensible thing in like a real FTL instead of this thing that is only somewhat kind of like FTL. A turn-based FTL. It is a little bit of a bummer that all we can do is just kind of like wander idly here until the Gigantopede makes itself known to us. It's fine, we'll just wander around getting into trouble. We found a rough stone tablet, sure. No reason not to, right? We got plenty of money, or plenty of cargo space. Alright. We're protecting factory goods. Let's have at 'em. -4 reputation. That's pretty serious. So, we're just firing all the guns, right? There's not a lot of other strategy to apply here. So we'll try to destroy their heartlight quickly. I'm gonna shoot the fungus cannon right into the center of their ship as well. And then, if we get the heartlight, we'll try for the guns after that. I'm pretty curious if we can actually damage their sanity out. Wow. That did, like, no damage. What the hell? Their heartlight is so powerful. It's completely unstoppable. And we're gonna die. Yeah, we're probably just dead. Well, combat in this game, man, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. Alright, we're gonna put a lot of shots into that thing. We'll try to put fungus in the heartlight room again. I mean, we did decrease their sanity very, very slightly. Okay, we killed one gun, but it's unlikely to matter enough. Yeah, because now a hit from any weapon is likely to kill us. That said, we did a lot of damage this round. It's possible that we could just kill them. I mean, we can take the heartlight. Let's see if we actually get the job done. If all the weapons hit, I think we just do enough hull damage to kill them. 2 misses. Well, that's no good. We're gonna die. Their sanity's very low. Okay. I want to try that 1 or 2 more times. Let's, this is us. Let's give that another go. Oh. Got to gather news. And then leave town, northward. We can probably get lucky and get there, because we did almost get through their hull. Were we supposed to be destroying the train? Because I'm trying to take their cargo, right? Yeah, whatever, it's fine. We'll take the cargo from the destroyed ruins of their train. That's how we will manage this. Alright. They're trying to... like, blowing up their heartlight does definitely seem to help. But I think it's just too dangerous of a strategy. I'm going to try spreading out the damage over a couple of weapons here, in the hopes of taking down the one and getting a good start on the other one. Because if this works... if this were to be enough damage... Wow, we didn't do any damage at all to that gun. The damage seems incredibly random, right? I mean, it doesn't help that there's so much missing going on. And this will break down the one gun at least, provided that we get hits. Oh, of course, the gun fired before our projectiles made contact. Yeah, see, like, some of the weapons that you shoot at an area don't actually deal damage to that area, even if they deal hull damage. And I don't know why. Well, we lost one of our guns. I'm gonna go closer. Try to get maximum accuracy here. We lost one of our guns, but I think we might still be able to kill them. 7. And then do we die? We do. Okay. Again, dumb luck really really makes a big difference there. It looks like it auto-saved a little bit later. It probably auto-saved when we hit leave. Wait, do we not have the news? Where would that be? Stories and experiences? No. Not a concern. It's an information. Yes. Okay, so no, we do not have the... Okay. For whatever reason, did not save that we did this. Okay, we must leave now and quickly save the game. Would love to not have to make that roll again. Okay, let's try this one more time. I think we should be able to do it. I know we haven't been able to do it, but it's been very close. And there's die rolling involved. We just gotta land our hits a little bit more successfully. I mean, this time I'm just gonna shoot all of the guns, trying to deal enough damage to one gun while also taking out, while also starting in on the next one, is really unreliable because of the fact. Wait, why is there no one in one of the weapons bays? Actually, there's no one in 3 of the weapons bays. What the hell? Well, I guess this does answer our question about whether or not you need a gunner in the bay to fire a weapon. You absolutely do. So I'm just gonna reload. I don't see any reason to even attempt. There's no way we could possibly win that combat with us having only one gunner. Why did we not have our full complement of gunners that time? I mean, it might be the case that it must be the case that only some of your crew shows up to battle. I mean, no, we don't really have that much below deck crew. Huh. But yeah, if they decide to just not have all of our gunners show up, we don't even get to actually play. Maybe it's a bug? Because now it's been 3 of the 4 times that we've done this. All of the crew has shown up. So yeah, maybe it was just a bug. Yeah, see, some of the weapons deal damage to the gun. Some of the weapons dealt damage to a different gun. So is that random? Is it random when systems take damage? None of the weapons were close enough to the south gun to hit it. And this whole combat system seems like, in addition to it just like not making a lot of mechanical sense to engage in combat unless you absolutely have to, it seems like it's kind of broken. Really hard to tell what's going to happen when you engage in combat. Okay, got a couple of lucky misses there, and now we finished the job pretty easily, I think. And we got some weird cursor nonsense going on here. It didn't actually fire all the guns? Whatever broken garbage was happening with our weapons there didn't... So, this one's grayed out. I'm not 100% clear what's going... Like, it's spending actions, but it's not... The combat system's very broken. So we're probably gonna continue to avoid combat from now on. Alright, your artillery tears the gigantopede into great furls of broken metal. Eventually, plumes of ash and smoke stretch to the ceiling. Searching the wreckage, you recover a crate marked Factory Goods. What a weird... Why would you just put that right on the crate? It's obscenely heavy, and for hours after you touch it, you feel vaguely unclean. Alright, well, load it up. We've got the next thing for Delgado's quest. Let's obtain our next instructions. Laplace's ribbiting has only increased in volume and severity. The crew threaten mutiny. His exiled majesty wishes you to acquire an energy coil from the naughty doctors, croaks Laplace. Can we just buy it from them? Asks Delgado. Oh, certainly not, says Laplace. The naughty doctors protect their technology jealously. You We'll have to take it by force. Huh. Hey, Dr. Delgado, what do you think of this? More banditry. Dr. Delgado fiddles with his tie. This isn't what I thought we'd be doing. I imagined high adventure, dastardly but harmless schemes, and back home in time for dinner. I thought the Hostage King was better than this. Yeah, I agree. Are you sure the Hostage King has the best intentions, Doctor? Well, I thought I knew him, says Dr. Delgado. But it seems the Hostage King is not the man I thought he was. Perhaps when he talked about vengeance and subjugation, he was being less jocular than I assumed at the time. Still, though, he frowns, building the demon is the only way I can return to my old world and see my family again. Even if the Hostage King could use it to become a tyrant, maybe that's worthwhile? I mean, escaping the house is too important a goal to ignore. You know what? I think this is right. Dr. Delgado nods, looking a little nauseated. Well, let's just get this over with, then. I am glad you came to the more sensible... sorry, that's the wrong voice. I am glad you came to the more sensible conclusion. Laplace wipes one of his glass eyes with a handkerchief, and not his tongue, the way frogs often do. Also, should we have been... I thought I took Delgado aside so that the frog wouldn't be listening. Apparently, not as secure a conversation as I was imagining. Alright, well, we will fetch an energy coil, I suppose. How many apprehensions am I sitting on right now? It's like a lot, right? 64? Yeah, let's listen to one of your monologues. We'll just build up some graft here. Why not? Alright. Back to the City of Angels. Because I desperately need hull repairs. Like this. Don't like how much this guy seems to be paying attention to us. Oh no, okay, he's just going for the west door. Alright, I need to rest and recover, first of all. Repair my hull, which is fairly expensive. Okay, we're in alright shape. I think we can probably just head back out. I'm just going to save the game here, and let's have a look at our map now. So our passenger wanted to go to a place we've never heard of before. Apparently it's right out there. Genevieve's support group is in that area. The Naughty Orb is not too far away. We definitely already investigated Mrs. Autumnal's whereabouts, so I'm not sure why that... I mean, we've seen before. The tags don't always go away when they should. Yeah, I guess let's take a long trip east. So do we want to buy fuel before we do that? I mean, we still have to go to the City of Knives. I can't remember. Could we buy fuel at Eldabrithad or Gondola? I'm going to buy some fuel here. Just in case. We're going to go up to 20 again. We can afford it. And we still have a little bit of walking around money. Alright, let's head east to the City of Knives. And points beyond. And we can take a Gigantopede if we absolutely have to. Now, we know that for certain, but to be perfectly honest with you, if we never engaged in combat again, it would suit me just fine. Maybe I should have taken the options on the Delgado dialogue that would have led to us giving up on the quest just so that I didn't have to fight anymore. Maybe there's some elements of the combat system that I'm just not like grasping, and that's why it feels weird and random to me. That can sometimes be the case. Cockroaches. You know, in a game, it's very easy to have a powerful negative reaction to mechanics that you don't really have an understanding of, because they can feel frustrating. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do a little bit of looking around on the internet and see how people feel about that combat system in between this episode and next. Hey, we got ourselves a meandering treatise. Why, that's my favorite kind. Okay, so we do need to go one square north at some point. It may as well be this next room. I do really appreciate the visual of the skittering train going through the giant house. There's something really cool happening there aesthetically. It's Gigantopede. No, it is not interested in me. Well, in that case, does it want to trade map information? Nope. Do have news for the city from the City of Keys. We may well be able to get something in exchange for it. I don't know, the combat seems pretty straightforward, though. Like, in theory, you could damage the opponent's sanity and get them to give up in some way, but, like, there's a real problem there with the fact that the weapons don't always deal damage to the systems in the room, so you can never know that you're going to be able to do it. And so it feels now, to me, it feels like we just, we will always be just going for hull, and you can never rely on destroying a system under any circumstances. A Golem Guard patrol boat has sprung a leak. Oh, we've seen this before. It's a hilarious incident. I write for a comedy paper. Let's rest and recover a little bit, because I did nuke our sanity pretty badly. Then I don't think we really want to do anything else while we're here. Let's, we don't need a horrifying ordeal, do we? We need hideous revelations. Yeah, I'm not going to bother doing that right now. Is there anything else here that's worth buying? I don't think so. Slabber's weaponry. Medium damage, high accuracy. It's like a better mortar weapon. I mean, that's the mortar we have one of, I mean, but it would be better than our small guns. Yeah, at some point it's maybe worth replacing all of the guns we currently have with that thing, but not super cheap to do. Alright, out to the Principate with us. Important places to be, so I guess we just hold straight east until the game tells us otherwise. We hit a reason we can't do that, or our navigator steps in and is like, hey, look, there's a thing over there. That's inconvenient. Can we interact with these guys? The Archives of Tank is nearby. Wow, that's not what nearby means, but sure, okay, we'll go there. I do love to visit a new place. Think of all the apprehensions there are to gain. I really don't. I don't much care for the way the note system works in this game. It's so easy to not see that you have a new note. And because of the fact that most of the notes are just repeated, meaningless flavor text, you don't really, like, when the thing pops up in the corner of the screen, you don't really want to look at it. You have to take your eyes off of what's going on with your train, and the vast majority of the time it's just going to be two sentences that you've seen before that give you no information. I don't know. It's not necessarily a great design. Wait a minute, what is all the way up there? Huh. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's a marker for a part of a quest that we're not supposed to have yet? Because it looks like the kind of place where you would intercept a vehicle, so maybe it's the thing that Laplace is going to ask us to do after the Naughty Doctors? Or maybe that's supposed to be the area of the Naughty Doctors and it just didn't appear in the right spot. Because I did think it was strange that the place we were told to go to intercept a Naughty Doctor was only one square. I guess if you go in there and the thing's not there, you just have to leave and come back over and over again. Sure, enter the cottage. I was kind of hoping we would pick up a new body. We do need just a little bit more below deck crew. I'd definitely feel more secure if we had a spare gunner. Just in case something terrible happens to Mangs of Mang, because he does seem to end up in the narrative a lot, which is a dangerous place to be. I wonder how large the area of the map that has, like, towns on it is. It does seem like an awfully large number of rooms from the northernmost place that we know of to the southernmost. Oh hey, it's a guy. Persuade him to join your crew. Success is more likely than not. Let's take him on as a new... Oh, he can't be a gunner. But he can be a guard. Maybe we should have taken a swabby. I don't know. Archives of Tank. Ooh, check out these Slender Men. Problem with Slender Man is he doesn't have enough legs. Well, we've solved it. A cluster of lopsided ivory towers, only upright because they are strung to the ceiling. Each tower contains tome upon tome of leather-bound book, recording the sins of mankind. This would be some big books. The archivists themselves are scuttling creatures of rags and wire. Their primary delicacy, human let's visit the archives. The archivists chitter and sing. It will cost you a tooth, they say. The archivists strap you down and produce a pair of rusty pliers. Yo, not my teeth! We have so many people in our employ. You can't tell me that none of them have teeth they can spare. There is no anesthetic, nor even a dram of whiskey. The pliers find their prize and wrench it from your mouth in a couple of tugs, leaving you in the most incredible agony. As you spew your blood into the bucket provided, one of the archivists flings your tooth into its mouth and crunches with evident enjoyment. Okay, well, I paid my due. I wonder if we have a limited number of times we could do that, if you can only do that as many times as you have teeth. The towers are, as always, mostly empty. Your footsteps ring out through the hall. Archivists skitter in the shadows and watch you nervously. You wind through a paper column, gliding over sin after sin. You seem to have lucked upon a catalogue of treachery. You read the names of dozens of rebels and radicals who plot secretly against the prince. Okay, seditious whispers in the Principate. And then there's not really anything else to do here. Do they have anything interesting for sale? They do not. Okay, well I guess let's leave then. This is another one of those places where the exits have no text for some reason. I mean, I guess we'll just southeast back down to whatever it is. That place that's down there. You know, with the big skull. The Big Skull place. That's what we're calling it, Big Skullton. Like approximately just go southwest. Just keep going southwest for a while. This is my big concern about how many rooms there are from top to bottom, is that we may end up in some journeys here as we continue to map things out that are just like a lot of minutes in length. And I don't really have anything interesting to talk about. Listen, I'm not having a lot of fascinating experiences these days. As you might imagine, I spend a lot of time indoors away from people, which was always true, but it's even truer now. Okay, nothing. Doing a bad job of remembering to continue going southeast. I mean, I'm a little stuck on the combat. I'm kind of baffled by the design of the combat system so far. Did they really put all that work into that for a thing that they mechanically want to disincentivize you from ever doing? It's not impossible, but it does seem strange, right? We're seeing locked doors again. That's interesting. I wonder if that's just the hard limits of the world, or if we will at some point learn how to unlock those. We gain access to a very, very large key. It's if you look at the size of the lock, the key that fits in that hole is going to be larger than a train car. But whatever, spatial concerns are not the same here as they are in other places. You can't even see what kind of thing this is because it's behind that rock. It's a cairn, and then I lost some sanity. It does feel like maybe the cairns are just not worth interacting with, because even when things go well, you just get some old bones, which I don't even want. Okay, almost. But yeah, I don't. Maybe the intent. It's entirely possible the design intent with the combat system, which they must have spent a fair amount of time on, right? Nothing in a video game is easy. It's entirely possible the design intent was for it to be a thing that you would actually want to engage in, a little bit more like FTL type stakes, and then they, changed their minds at some point during development, or they found it just didn't really work the way they wanted it to. I don't know. Alright, we don't have a ton of guineas right now, but let's go ahead and grab some of this, and then let's just have a wander around in the skull. Screws are the epicenter of the chronic strangeness that afflicts Eld Aberthat. Yeah, unlike every other place in the house, right? A web of shifting alleys and runt streets that seems much larger and more labyrinthine than it is, or than is, strictly speaking, possible. Each strand of the screws brims with cultists, occultists, second-rate summoners, and their third-rate summons. As you pass yet another cult headquarters, we've seen this one. The geese, yeah, okay, investigate. I'm better at esoterica than I used to be, so we should be able to pass this. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna pretend to help while, in fact, making things worse, just because I'm curious what'll happen. We got kicked out. You shout the cultists into their proper places and start conducting a ritual. Not a ritual of closing, but of magnification. This will cause some real havoc. Sadly, they immediately notice and kick you out. Well, you guys just have your own goose problems then. Preach the word of Anglecrab. This is the only place that this has ever worked for us, right? Alright, so they love the idea. We need to prove to them that Anglecrab is more than mere amusement, which we're likely to be able to do. Nope, never mind. Next time. Listen. We've passed so many things that we were unlikely to pass. We have no place getting mad about not passing some things that were likely to happen. Occultist paraphernalia, don't need it. Golem, sell my golems. I don't think we have any use for them, frankly. We can sell occult relics if we could only find some, ever find some. And I guess that's it. I guess that's all that we're doing here. So we're pretty close to the next location, though, right? Yeah, Failbetter Quinn is not far at all. Let's head out to a city of drugs and dreams. That sounds like the right place. We can help Genevieve swing by her support group as well here. No? Do I really not? Okay. I want to interact, please? There we go. I am definitely further away now than I was when we were over there. I don't know what happened with that. Where are we at relative to our goal? One more east, one more south. Another rough stone tablet? Yeah, why not? We probably have a ton of carry weight available, yeah, having just divested ourselves of that number of golems plus the new car. So we're back in a place of just picking up every single thing we find, which just seems like a good idea in general. Right? Who plays video games and doesn't just hoard every object they can get their hands on? I can't even imagine. Welcome aboard. You can be my new swabby. So it looks like it's capping us on stuff. My guess is you're allowed to have up to 4 of each thing. Turns out we're very close to not having room for new crew. Ooh, this is lovely. A shanty city of drugs and dreams, built around the impossibly tall and impossibly slender porcelain spire. In Failbetter Quinn, the line between dream and reality is obscure, and any punter can choose their own enlightenment, for a price. Well, let's attempt to gather news. It seems like it might not be easy to do. You make note of your dreams in Failbetter Quinn. Tall amphibians stalking through fog, old men with bat-like faces, a whispering river that runs from your eye to your navel. None of it makes a lick of sense. Useless. Your dreams leave nothing but questions and mild psychological discomfort. That's very familiar. I guess let's just have a little bit of a look around. Oh, drop off our passenger, obviously. Pick up a new passenger. For the City of Bridges. Okay, well that's easy enough. Let's preach. Let's do a little preaching. You silently build a manifold inversion of a shape out of sticks and glue, an impossible geometry that revolves around itself and that you hope will impress the crowd. You speak with a great authority. When you look down, you realize to your horror that you are naked. The shifting, faceless audience start to scream with laughter. The dream dissolves. You are still speaking, and appropriately clothed, but the audience, half dream, half real, haven't stopped their laughter. What an interesting experience. Alright, we'll try that again somewhere else. The stupefaction baths. A labyrinth of steam and drug smoke. You may not return unaltered. I wonder if we'll be able to buy Godsmoke here. Before you enter the baths, you must understand that you are not here to relax, says the handsome young man in the entrance lobby. Obviously, just using my own voice, because I too am a handsome young man in an entrance lobby. Below this building are miles of steam-filled tunnels that have never been mapped. Most come back, but not all. Oh, it's another one of these. He takes your money with a smile. Enlightenment awaits. You remove your clothes, shrug yourself into a silk robe, and let the hot steam swallow you. Yeah, alright, we'll do one level of this. I don't know if these are... Who knows if these are ever valuable, actually. You pass several naked old men playing chess, a robed woman luxuriating in waist-deep water, a giggling couple splashing each other. But further from the entrance, there are fewer and fewer patrons, and soon there are no patrons at all except you. Not many dare venture this far for fear of losing themselves. The walls are leaking indigo smoke. You inhale a lungful, and too late realize it's god smoke. Your body is racked by a searing pain, but it is nothing next to the pain of betrayal. How could Barafal turn against you? Did your love mean nothing? You curl up in the shallow water and sob for hours. And so the god smoke, I guess it makes you remember things very, very vividly, or, Head deeper. The steam rolls through the tunnels like hot fog. You are soaked in sweat. You are smoked in sweat, which is also kind of true. A young boy in dour clothes is standing ahead, looking back with mingled disappointment and disgust. Oh, this is your fault. He fades like a stain. Then we have to pass an insight test, which we're actually not that good at. But we did pass it. You stumble onward. This seems right, why not? Sanity, getting real bad. And then, deeper still. Steam is tinged purple here. Yep, it's god smoke, yep. Okay. Head deeper. At last you reach the center of the labyrinth. A marble staircase sweeps down to the second, larger maze below. And we've lost our damn minds. That's enough for one trip. We made a checkpoint. Let's rest and recover, cause my brain. You trawl the taverns, drinking to old times and lost friends and lessons learned. When you finally collapse into bed, your sleep is racked by noxious dreams and unbearable warmth and torturous pleasures. Those dreams meant something. You cannot shake their hold on your mind. So gained a portentous dream, did not gain any sanity. Still lost my money. Well, I'd really love to rest and recover. Nope, still, okay, nothing. So apparently we're just not going to be able to do that, which is a shame because our sanity's very low. One more time? Okay, I was kind of curious if, if there's a chance. It looks like probably there's not a chance. Probably that is always what happens. Well, that's a shame. So we could buy an empty memory box, or we could sell a box full of memories for less than the cost of an empty memory box. We can buy a Godsmoke vial, which we absolutely should. And then we do need color dust for something. Color dust is used to build the statue to Abja in the City of Angels, so sure, let's do that. And then I don't know that we need any of these other things. So I guess we're done here. And sanity. Sanity's a problem. The city shimmers like a bubble. You can't be sure you're awake. Yeah, alright, I have been beckoned. The streets shift like the sea. The city is quieter than usual and less substantial. The faces of the crowd are turned away or blurred. Juice drips sweet down your chin. You are filled with bizarre certainty. You've stolen an apple, and the farmer is chasing you with a scythe. Then you wake up, sheened in sweat. You were so sure you'd left the Kinetipede. We have so many portentous dreams now. Also, I'm waiting, because this music, I'm waiting. Any moment here, Tom Waits is going to jump in and ask what that guy's building in there. So there's a frozen star to the north, to the east locks that won't open, to the south, the city whose name was eaten. I kind of want to see what's to the north, but also we gotta start heading back toward places that we know a little bit better, because my sanity is real bad. So south it is. West just a little, south quite a lot. Aha, get eluded, nerd. It's a shame that nobody else is as good at piloting their ship as I am. That guy after me? He might be. Ugh, I really wanted to interact with the thing there. Alright, let's just blow up the rocket engine. I don't need to fight these guys. Your missile flies like a dream and hits their unstable rocketry with the force of a hammer. That's not really a lot of force relative to the amount of force you want your missile to have. 1 second the dirigible is bearing down on you, the next it vanishes in a ball of roaring fire, and we live to fight again. You pick amongst the blackened remains. Surely something has survived. But no, You root through wreckage and charred bones and find nothing. And also, this pub. Oh good, a sack of salt. Well, I guess now we don't have to buy any of those. Are we cool to just go hard south from here? No, we need to go west one more time. May as well be now, when this dirigible is clearly hunting us. Abja's blessing. The crew are performing their duties as usual, but they do not recognize you. You walk among them, and their gazes flit over you, unseeing. You open your mouth to shout for their attention, but you cannot speak. You can only splutter and choke, while your ignorant companions ignore you still. When you awake the next day, you can talk again. Your crew acknowledge you cheerfully. A blessing! Let's not tell the crew what happened. That doesn't seem necessary. You keep what happened deep inside, and it hollows you out. You become a secret wearing skin. And yet you feel a strange sense of satisfaction. Things are happening with Abja. You slave over your journals and notes. You fall asleep at your desk tormented. And you dream of clocks. Tonight you dream of a tower-tall giant, its face a gargantuan clock. It cups you and your kinetipede in its palm. Each tick is a peal of thunder. Each talk is the crack of miles-thick ice. Everything else around you is colorful, shifting, kaleidoscope madness. Streams of light, objects come together and come apart. A piano, a writing desk, a shining star. Been trying to talk to you for a rather long time, chum, says the clock-faced giant. Somehow its voice is quiet, as though it is merely sitting beside you in the kinetipede. You've got some fearsome defenses to stop me from getting in. I had to wait until your whole mind had started to fracture and slip in through one of the cracks. And who are you? I am Morbazar, says the entity, the clock-faced god, one of the Sanctioned Nine. Don't fall to your knees in terror and awe or anything. He pauses. The second hand continues its relentless sweep. It was my followers who stole your memory. The memory you retrieved was a different one. It contained a little sliver of me, just enough to get inside your head forever. And what do you want from me? Well, I want to give you two things, says the clock-faced god. Thing one, a warning. Don't listen to Persephone. Thing two, an ultimatum. I know you want to escape the house, but the only way you can do that is to destroy it. The mad sky around you splinters with visions. Fire, screaming faces, shattered glass. I can tell you how, says the Titan, but I can't speak to you again until you've come a little closer to understanding the house. Keep exploring, keep investigating, keep writing. The more you learn, the sooner you can dream of me again. The god begins to close its fist, and shadow falls over the kinetipede. Sorry about this, says the clock-faced god. I haven't worked out how to make you wake up without killing. Massive fingers the size of trees squeeze around the kinetipede. Metal walls shriek and buckle. A moment of suffocating darkness, an instant of agonizing pressure and pain, and you fall out of bed, gasping for breath. Well, we just had a real night of clocks there, as they say. You know, that common English phrase. Hey buddy, you look rough. What's wrong? Didn't you sleep well? Oh no, I had a real night of clocks last night. Nope, we're not interacting with the Cairn. There's no reason to. I'm having a little bit of trouble navigating the world. Everything's kinda swimming. Listen, here's the thing. My brain, it's never been great. I'm gonna not interact with that well. Wells sometimes steal your sanity. Everybody's out to steal my sanity. It's the only thing anyone wants from me anymore. Alright, let's just steer around. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Oh god. Okay. So apparently, the extra cargo, oh boy. My vision. You know what? Let's ignore it. The extra cargo car doesn't actually have collision for the purpose of enemies catching you. Because if it did, we would definitely have been caught there. Alright, this ought to be the place. Hopefully it will offer us a way to regain our sanity. Here we are in the Scars of Shang. The city is corrupted. Streets and buildings alike are gouged with deep oozing wounds. It is a shocking sight to see the parting of the imbecile stone, exposing human-like cavities of flesh and gore. More wounds open by the day. But some heal, leaving pale lines or puckered indents. The scars of Sheng earned its name with blood. Let's let Genevieve slip away to her group's support meeting. No, I'm going to rest and recover first. Let's get a little bit of sanity back. Most of the taverns in Scars of Sheng are septic, oozing pus amidst the blood. You find an uncorrupted restaurant in the suburbs and spend time there instead, feasting on cabbage soup and garlic pancakes. When you finally collapse into bed, your sleep is peaceful and untroubled by nightmares. That's not a huge amount of sanity for 30 guineas, but I didn't want to risk something bad happening with this event and dropping us down to 0 and making us lose. I don't know if that's a thing. In fact, I'm going to save the game real quick just in case. I don't know what happens if your sanity zeroes out. It's probably not good. Genevieve takes off down the street, waving off a fruit merchant's patter and stepping daintily over a rivulet of blood. And I attempt to follow her at a distance because I'm very curious what a support group for vampires looks like. There's a pretty good episode of Rude Tales of Magic about such a thing. You're not sure if she noticed you following, but she's certainly making it difficult. She casts glances over her shoulder, slips down side alleys, moves like smoke between shadows. You don't lose her for a second. Finally, she reaches her destination, the cracked and scarred husk of a forgettable warehouse, abandoned since the onset of city cancer. With the last sweeping stare, she slips inside, and I peer through the window. The window is cracked, so thick with filth that it might as well be brick. You swab at the corner with a handkerchief and peer through the gloom. The interior of the warehouse seems much better kept than the outside. Dripping gallows candles, an unlit fireplace, high-backed chairs. Genevieve is sitting daintily, demure, head bowed, as though in the presence of superiors. There are at least a dozen other figures in the room, though it's too dark to make out all of them. You see a blond young man in snakeskin boots, a pale woman with startling black brows, a fellow with round golden eyes. In the shadows at the back, a pair of burning eyes. Well, let's listen in. You can only catch occasional snatches of conversation. Now welcome Genevieve Call, awoken sister of the... and call this meeting of the Abstemi into motion. Discuss other matters first. More of this foul, corrupted city blood. It really is very hard to hear through the thick oak door. Perhaps you could ease it open ever so slightly. Let's hope these hinges are well maintained. You ease the door open just a crack. The hinges are silent, thank gods. The voices are discussing political matters, how best to strike down new anti-vampire legislation in the City of Knives, which candidate to back in the next Ghoul Watch election, who owes favors to whom has blackmail on whom, and who has become more trouble alive than dead. You don't hear Genevieve's voice or even mention of her name until finally, and before we conclude this meeting, we have another mission for you, Genevieve. Well, no, of course I stay to hear the tidbit. There is another intemperate awoken on the loose, you hear. His name is Quentin Dearly, your typical mad and desperate intemperate, ambushing travelers east of the City of Bridges, drinking enough blood to fill a lake. Well, I'm a little rusty these days, but I'm sure I can tidy up this nuisance, says Genevieve. Then this meeting of the Abstemi is concluded. You hear chairs scraping back. They'll be out any second, and I run like hell. You left it too long. Although you race back as fast as you can, you find Genevieve striding along beside you, loping like a wolf. You draw to a halt. How much did you hear? She asks. Her eyes are flint. I'm just going to be honest with her, because I think she'll be able to tell if we lie, and also, you know, we're cool, right? I think she likes me. She slams her fist against the nearby wall in rage, so not so good then. It cracks and starts oozing blood. If they find out, you'll be killed, and then I'll be punished. You put both of us in grave danger with that stunt. No one can know about this, she snaps. I must fulfill their mission with utmost competence, or questions will be asked. Now let's get back to the Kinetipede before we're seen. She steps forward, and her foot lands straight in a puddle of blood. Ah, shit. Okay, so our reputation, it's been in better places. Or our relationship, rather. Where did that take us down to? Did that drop us to 2? Did we gain reputation when we... Yeah, okay, we did not gain reputation when we hooked up. So, we're gonna have to gain some more if we want to get back to that place. Let's explore the city and try not to do the thing we just saw Genevieve do. Scarred veterans beg on the monument steps. They will recognize your accent at once, here at the statue of Sheng. If you speak to them, and your very existence will be an insult. They fought your kind in the 1802 Glass Reclamation, though they'd call it the Scythian Invasion. They vividly remember the foul weapons that the cities deployed against them, occult weapons, designed only to torture and deform. So, we can perform a good deed that they'd hate us for. We can't speak to them in Principian because we don't know enough about the Sixfold Principate. I do have quite high spirit. I'm going to try to just win them over. I'm sure this'll work. Although they hate you at first, on principle, you manage to gradually win them over. You criticize the governor as vociferously as they do, and although it would be patronizing to offer them an apology, you adopt a general air of contrition. They tell you about the heroism of their comrades, dirigible pilots who braved the city's missiles and crackling occult energies in order to rescue wounded friends. Soldiers who fought on, even as the factory's weapons turned their bones to soup. Okay, so we got a war story. We listen in silence and then slip away before they come back to that hating us thing. The beggars begin talking amongst themselves, raising unspoken names, long-absent specters. So we kinda did some good, maybe, a little bit? Let's try preaching the word of Anglecrab. The Scars is a sullen sort of city. Public speakers are met with indifference at best. You open Anglecrab's Sacred Instruction Manual and, do the thing, negative 23 centimeters, etc. The only person to give you time of day is an elderly beggar. He gazes at you with an unreadable expression, waits for you to finish, and then asks for spare change. Yeah, you know what? You listened. You earned it. This fellow at least might leave with a positive impression of your god. Probably not, but like I said, he earned it. We have so many memories we could jam into our box. We don't need to repair the hull, probably. How much do we want to rest and recover? And what else can we buy? Here at Hatham's surprise guest golem launcher. High damage, high accuracy creates a golem combatant to fight for you, but only one use per battle. That's a pretty cool idea, and I'm totally into it, but we cannot afford it. I'm very into it. I'm high damage, high accuracy, man, and only 2,300. Let's just recover some sanity here, because I think we desperately need to. Let's get the normal music back. Hey, look at that, we did it. I'm gonna recover us considerably. Okay, we are a little short on cash at this point, but in a lot of ways, things are going kinda well. We're pushing plot lines along, we're having terrifying nightmares of clock-faced giant gods. I think that this is probably an okay place for us to stop for today. You wouldn't want to make too much progress. I don't know if your mind could withstand it. So, when you come back next time, tomorrow, we will proceed carefully, and we'll see you then.